Today, we're joined by Harding Athletic Director and men's basketball coach Jeff Morgan to talk about yesterday, the announcement from the Great American Conference, the start dates for basketball, volleyball, and women's soccer. And Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us. And secondly, your reaction from yesterday's announcement.
Well, thanks for doing this, Billy. We appreciate everything and doing these interviews like you've done all year. It's been awesome. I think just our initial reaction is we're excited. We're excited to have a path to play. The league has worked really, really hard. Our presidents, administrators around the league, athletic trainers, sports information, everybody's worked really hard to put together a plan, return to play plan. And so we presented those plans to the Arkansas Department of Health, the Oklahoma Department of Health. Our presidents approved that once we were able to let those two departments see that as well. And so we're excited to see a path to play and to be able to, tip off on January 7th.
Yeah, first let's talk about basketball, men's and women's basketball beginning January 7th. And that's a different look to the schedule. You can go to hardingsports.com and see the way the schedule looks. But division play, and I think it's going to be exciting, an opportunity to see the teams play teams in the division 4 times, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very interesting for sure. Going to be a lot of fun. We're playing each team in Arkansas 4 times, and to me, it feels a lot like the NBA model, where you're playing in the East Conference and the Western Conference, in the NBA. So we're going to play, Henderson, Arkansas Tech, Ouachita, SAU, UAM. We'll play each one of those 4 times, and that gives us a 20-game schedule, and cuts down on hotel stays and things like that. But it's going to be an exciting schedule, and hopefully we haven't made the for sure determination on how we do the conference tournament, but I'm sure it'll look very, very similar to that and working our way to a championship game for a conference tournament. So the only reason we're held up a little bit on making that decision is because we're waiting to hear from the NCAA on how many teams are going to get into the NCAA tournament. I've heard it could be 48 instead of the 64. So they're just looking at all those kind of things, and then we'll make a determination on what we want to do in the conference tournament. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I think our guys are really excited about it. The Lady Bisons think they're excited about it. It's going to be, like I said, the NBA schedule where you play a day, prep a day, play. We're going to have some 3-game weeks. We're going to be playing, Arkansas Tech on 4 Mondays. So let's get after it and let's have a good time. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
And volleyball also with their start dates and later in the month and in January, and a 10-match schedule, a divisional schedule for them. They'll be in the East. Women's soccer also has 6 dates, and that looks a little bit different. They'll play all 6 schools in women's soccer in the GAC. Yeah,
they're going to play everybody in the GAC, and then hopefully have a tournament at the end of that to determine a GAC champion. And then volleyball will play 1 game a week for a 10-week season. Most likely on Tuesday nights is where those games are going to fall. So we're going to have a lot of events taking place. We'll have some weeks where we have basketball on Monday, Thursday, Saturday. You have volleyball on Tuesday, soccer on the weekend. And then, in February we start baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and everything else. Everything else across the board, track. So it's going to be a busy spring, but a lot of fun. I'm excited for our student athletes and coaches that we can at least see a path to play, return to be able to compete, which we all know our student athletes have a tremendous desire to do.
Coach Morgan, you mentioned the spring sports, and that is what's next, obviously, and those schedules have no changes to them, and as of right now, they're planning to go with their spring schedules that do begin in February, correct?
Yes, that's the plan, and I think everybody, because the spring sports had their seasons cut short last year, everybody's very determined to have as normal possible schedule for our spring sports as possible. because they did have their seasons cut short last year. So that'll crank up in February, along with what we already have starting up hopefully in January.
And now when we go back and to get ready, this is step one to getting prepared to play. There will be a lot more information that will come out in the coming weeks. And one of the first questions that we will be asked, obviously, and folks want to know are about fans in the stands, whether it be at any of the different events. But that's not something we can address as for sure right now, but that's going to be information that's coming down the road.
Yeah, I feel like the first week of December, we'll have some great about what we're going to do with our events and as far as fans and attendance. If you look at the current requirements and guidelines for the Arkansas Department of Health right now, you may be able to get 25 to 30 or 40% capacity. So if you look at those guidelines and then you look at socially distanced and family units and those kind of things. So we'll have a lot more information that the league is working on. The league has put together a subcommittee that's going to make some recommendations depending on the guidelines in Oklahoma and in Arkansas for fan attendance. And then we'll be able to roll out our plan very soon after that as far as how many we think we can get in the Rhodes Reeves Fieldhouse. And we had a Harding Academy game in there last night, and they worked off of 500 in attendance, and was very easy to do as far as being able to physically distance and seats with family units and those kind of things. So we'll have more of an idea probably around that first week of December.
Jeff, how excited are the Bisons to hear this news, to see a schedule and to see this first step taken?
Well, it came at a great time. I can tell you that. It came at a great time because we started practice a couple weeks ago, and the guys have been, working extremely hard. It's been extremely competitive in practice. Obviously, most years we're playing by now, and in their internal clock, they're used to playing right now. So, but they've been practicing in a great way. But the news yesterday came at a great time because obviously you can only practice against each other so much. But I think yesterday it kind of gave them a little bit of wind in their sail, so to speak. It almost felt like, I told them, it almost felt like we put our foot in the ground and we turned towards January 7th as far as playing. We'll be here the rest of this week practicing, and then we're going to come back after Thanksgiving break and have about 3 weeks of practice before we send them home for Christmas for a few days, and then come back on December 28th to start practice again to get ready for January 7th. So the next 4 or 5 weeks are going to be really important, really critical. But we think after Thanksgiving, our guys will be able to stay here. They'll finish classes online. They'll finish their final exams. But us and the Lady Bisons and our track team will be able to stay here and continue to work out and practice and get ready for those early January competitions.
The fall, just how big of a challenge has it been for the student athletes? Because I know there's so much work that's went in. You talked about that when we first started our visit, and so much work with the trainers, with the administration, with the student athletes. Everybody's had to take part in this and do their part, haven't they?
Well, it truly has been a great team effort from our administration, from coaches, from compliance to sports information, to events, to everything. It's been a great team effort, and our student athletes, I think, have handled it in an awesome way. I know there was a lot of disappointment early in the semester, but they have really engaged in their workouts, their skill development, and I think they see that, hey, the spring is coming, the next semester is coming, and if we can get some competition going, I think that's going to be even a greater news for everyone as we get towards that. But our student athletes have done an amazing job. Our coaches have done a great job as far as the approach they've taken to practice only this semester, and they've handled it in a great way.
Well, Coach, we appreciate so much you taking the time to join us today. The complete release can be found at hardingsports.com, along with all the schedules for the spring. January 7th, the Bisons and Lady Bisons hosting Ouachita Baptist at the Rhodes Reeves Fieldhouse. Coach, thank you. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, we appreciate it. And go Bisons.